cheap. Really, really cheap. Really, really cheap. Really, really cheap. Really, really cheap. Cheap, 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 cheap.
G'day. It doesn't matter how many bikes you own or how much you might love one of your old bikes. There is no feeling quite like buying a brand spanking new motorcycle.
Yes!
So, if you don't have a lot of cash and you want a bike with a bit of oomph, this video is just for you. Cheap bikes often cop a bad rap because they are usually pretty basic and of course they are cheap, which insinuates poor quality. But this is not always the case. What follows is a look at some of the best cheap road bikes which are at least 650cc in capacity. While they may not all be available in your country right now, this could well change at any time. And all of these bikes do offer a great balance between affordability and quality. Most of you may never have heard of the French motorcycle company named MASH, which prides itself on its vintage styling. Currently, their bikes are only available in the United Kingdom and Europe, which is a bit of a shame because I have to say I do really like the look of this bike. Its styling reminds me of many different motorcycles, including the old Harley-Davidson flat trackers and Yamaha dirt bikes from the 1970s, with a touch of the much newer Ducati Desert Sled thrown in. The bike is actually a bit of a mashup, excuse the pun, with a French company selling motorcycles which are actually made in China by Shinarei from proven Japanese engine designs. Shinarei itself is actually quite a large company. So if this engine looks familiar to you, it's because the engine design is from the Honda XR650 and their legendary Dominator, which apparently Shinarei acquired the rights to build in 2016, although it's been updated with fuel injection and an oil cooler. The 644cc 4-valve single-cylinder engine produces almost 40 horsepower, with 49 Nm of torque. Combined with a curb weight of just 177 kilos, this gives the bike acceptable performance, with a top speed of approximately 153 km an hour. I know many riders are critical of Chinese-made motorcycles because of their questionable quality, reliability and engineering. But these MASH motorcycles do come with a warranty as good as any other brands out there. And even Harley-Davidson are now selling a motorcycle which is fully manufactured in China. The MASH X-Ride 650 is a strikingly good-looking motorcycle, and they also offer a trail bike version with a 21-inch front wheel and a road bike version. There's a bit of a rumour floating around that the name MASH was taken from the iconic American TV series. But it's not just a rumour, it's actually true.
And chicken feed's all you pay.
Chicken feed is all you need, 'cause a little goes a long, long way.
Next up is Suzuki's SV650. This bike is an excellent option for any rider who wants an affordable, high-performance motorcycle. The bike features a very attractive trellis frame with a 645cc liquid-cooled double overhead camshaft V-twin engine with 4 valves per cylinder. And like all V-twins, it delivers power all throughout the rev range with a typical deep throaty sound. It is the most powerful bike on this list with 75 horsepower, and it produces 64 Nm of torque, which gives the bike very impressive performance. Its top speed is approximately 210 km an hour, and it will cover the quarter mile in 12.5 seconds, making it plenty quick enough for most riders out there. It is highly regarded for its comfortable riding position, handling and very light curb weight of under 200 kilos. It also has outstanding fuel economy, and without beating around the bush, the Suzuki SV650 does tick all the boxes. You just couldn't go wrong with this bike. It's fantastic to see an iconic motorcycle brand name like BSA return, with their retro-styled classic 650 Gold Star. Like the original Gold Star, it has a single-cylinder engine, but with many modern improvements, like ABS, fuel injection and an electric start. The engine itself is a 652cc liquid-cooled double overhead camshaft design with 4 valves per cylinder, which only require checking every 24,000 kilometres, meaning maintenance on this bike is about as simple and as easy as you can get. And it too has exceptional fuel economy. This bike caters to any rider who prefers an old school look, and I think BSA have done an excellent job with the design of this bike. Even the gauges are reminiscent of the original bike's Smith's gauges. It produces 45 horsepower and 55 newton meters of torque. And while the engine may not be the quickest to get up to speed, it does have the right character and look for a machine of this type, and it is still good for a 170 km per hour top speed, if you can find a straight long enough, that is. While the bike is currently manufactured in India, apparently they do plan on moving production back to the UK. Just to keep mixing things up a little bit, the next El Cheapo bike on this list is a bike which first appeared way back in the mid-1980s. A bike which is very capable of taking you almost anywhere. The Kawasaki KLR 650. It may not be the best dual sport or adventure motorcycle, nor the fastest, but it's certainly just as capable for taking you off the beaten track as many other motorcycles which are far more expensive. It does have a bit of a cult following, and for very good reasons. It comes standard with a long-range 23-litre fuel tank, and the adventure model seen here, which is dearer but not by as much as what you would think, gets fog lights, hard case panniers and crash bars, and it certainly does look the part. Its liquid-cooled 4-valve double overhead camshaft single-cylinder engine only produces 38 horsepower and 52 newton meters of torque. But all of this torque is available at just 4,500 RPM, giving the bike plenty of low-down grunt. With a top speed of about 155 km an hour and with a quarter mile time of just 14.5 seconds, you have to say that the bike is a tad on the slow side. But this bike isn't about speed, it's about getting the job done. The Kawasaki KLR 650 has earned its stripes as a very reliable and solid motorcycle, and of course it has the legendary Kawasaki build quality. This next bike is a very modern looking machine, the CF Moto CLX Heritage. CF Moto have been in a partnership with KTM for quite a while, and they actually manufacture many KTM engines and frames. If you've ever seen the wheels on a KTM frame, you would understand what I mean when I say that these bikes are far from your average Chinese-made motorcycle. Its engine is a liquid-cooled 693cc double overhead camshaft parallel twin with 4 valves per cylinder. It produces 73 horsepower and 68 newton meters of torque. Slightly less horsepower than the Suzuki, but more torque. As far as value for money goes, no other motorcycles even come close to a CF Moto. Take a look at the list of features this bike comes standard with, straight off the showroom floor. A slipper clutch, self-adjusting headlight, upside down forks, fully adjustable front suspension, semi-adjustable rear suspension, 2 riding modes, which in the real world is all you need, a USB charging port, and it even has a cruise control. The 700 CLX also has a very attractive stock standard exhaust system. It has a stubby, brushed aluminium look about it, with a pretty decent exhaust note, unlike many other new bikes these days. I reckon most riders would be quite happy with the stock look and the sound. Its top speed is over 200 km an hour, and with a quarter mile time under 13 seconds, it's certainly no slouch. More than any other Chinese motorcycle manufacturer, CF Moto are the ones that seem to be putting in the effort and the expense to build up the brand name. They are certainly worth a look, and I guarantee the build quality will surprise you. It also comes in a sport and an adventure version. Lastly is the only cruiser on this list, the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. Joining their Interceptor and Continental models, it has a totally new beefy looking frame with the typical cruiser low slung seat, wide handlebars and forward mounted foot controls with a heel toe gear shifter. It also has upside down forks. Its air and oil cooled single overhead camshaft 648cc engine produces 47 horsepower and 52 Newton meters of torque. Revised engine mapping delivers 80% of that torque at just 2,500 RPM, meaning the bike has plenty of low down grunt. Its top speed is 169 km an hour, on a good day, but the bike is obviously built for relaxed highway cruising. It is one of the finest looking and cheapest cruisers available on the market today, so if a cruiser is more your style, it's definitely worth a look. I can't believe that you Poms don't have the KLR 650 available in your country, but at least you have all the other 5 bikes. Whereas you Yanks currently only have half these bikes available, but I'm pretty sure this is going to change in the very near future. I hope neither of those terms are offensive. If so, I do sincerely apologise. It's just what us Aussies call you, and they are meant more as a term of endearment than anything else. Anyway, us poor Aussies miss out on the Mash and the Beezer, but I reckon it's just a matter of time before the Beezer does become available here as well. As for the Mash, fuck knows, but I still reckon it's a cool looking bike. Cheers.